Kamya, Yaini, Dharani, Mustafa, Bhavani, Mohan, good evening. Vatsan, good evening. Better send the link in the group and tell everyone to join fast. Let's start the class. Mathivanan, good evening. Now look at last class we were discussing about a very important point about gene. Okay. Now we have learned one thing, that chromatins are there. I am going to ask some questions from you. You have to tell the answer. Where is chromatins present? Where is chromatins present? First question. Where is chromatin present? You just have to type what answer is the correct one. Where is chromatin present? Where is chromatin present? Location of chromatin. Location of chromatin, Sudarshan, good evening. DNA. Chromatin is present in DNA. Ha, Sudarshan? Who is going to tell the correct answer? You are knowing or not? What is the location of chromatin? Where is chromatin located? Chromatin. Chromatin. Nucleus. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. The correct answer is, good evening Haripriya. The correct answer is chromatin is located in the nucleus. The chromatins are exactly thread-like structure. So these chromatins will get converted into dash at the time of reproduction. These chromatins will get converted into dash at the time of reproduction. What it is exactly going to get converted into? What it is exactly going to get converted into? Correct only. It will get converted into chromosomes. So these chromatins will get converted into chromosomes. Okay, very good. These chromosomes are exactly, Anushri, good evening. These chromatins are exactly getting converted into chromosomes. So last class we were talking about a very important point about chromosomes, and that is exactly chromosomes. Before chromosomes we were talking about gene. Okay, because every time we are Shri Bhavani, good evening. Every time we are talking about a very important section, and that is ki, hey, you know what, this character is present in this child, this character is present in this child. These are the characters that the child is exactly imbibing. Means these are the specific characters the child is exactly having. Fine. Then these characters or traits are present in gene. Now where is gene located? Where is gene located? Where is gene located? Where is gene located? Because we don't know where is gene located. Is gene a part of chromosome, or gene is a fragment or a unit of DNA, and DNA is present in chromosome? Because we don't have this idea. We only think what definition we need, only that definition we are exactly going to mug up and we are going to vomit in the examination, and once concept is done, means we need not to revive it again another time. Correct only, Kamya. Last class we discussed a very important point, that is gene is functional unit of hereditary present at specific point on a chromosome. So chromosomes carry genes on its specific points. Chromosomes carry genes on its specific point, and these genes are exactly the one which is carrying the characters. Which are exactly carrying what? These genes are carrying what? These genes are carrying characters. Okay, now next is, what is biochemically, what is exactly gene? Sarthak, good evening. Biochemically, what are genes? Then you are going to say that gene is a small fragment of DNA. Means a very small part of DNA I am going to take, then it is exactly having gene. Next is, which is capable of undergoing replicating and then expression and mutation. So all these things are exactly done. All these things are exactly done. So chemical basis of heredity is DNA. So when I am going to talk about ki what is the chemical basis of heredity, means where is this heredity is exactly present, then you will be saying that auntie, the basic point is DNA, because DNA only is carrying the heredity information from one generation to the other. So I hope now you might have understood. Anush, good evening beta. Now I hope you might have understood a very specific point. Cut to cut point is कि the heredity information means the genetic information from transferred from one generation to another generation with the help of DNA. So DNA contains the genetic information. Now what DNA is containing? DNA is containing genes, and genes are having many different type of coding of information about the ancestors. Okay, many different type of coding of information about ancestors, how our ancestors were looking like, how our forefathers were looking like, what are the disease they were having, what are the good characteristics they were having, behavior, nature, many things they were exactly compiling inside it, and that genes were exactly possessing right now. Fine. And gene is a part of DNA, and gene is a part of DNA. So gene is a small part of DNA which carries the trait of the parent. That's it. So gene is a part of DNA which is exactly carrying the trait of the parent. Absolutely, Mohan. In short, you have explained the most important point. Super. So now very good, Mohan. God bless you. So thus gene can be defined as unit of DNA. So point to point, when examination I have compiled everything in one point, you have to write point wise. So when I will be talking about gene in an examination, I will be wanting you to write point wise. So what is gene? Gene can be defined as unit of DNA. That is what I said. DNA is what? DNA contains heredity information, means genetic information. DNA contains genetic information. DNA is exactly containing unit. The unit of DNA will be exactly, so it is defined a unit of DNA. The unit of DNA is gene, and a chromosome which governs the synthesis of protein. That control is a specific character that controls a specific character of an organism. So a characteristic in an individual can be a result of single gene or multiple gene. Can be result of single gene. Good evening, Nandini. Can be result of single gene or multiple gene. So 100% means one single gene is capable of giving you a character, or multiple genes are there which can give you a character. Means the character means what? What does character means here? Don't go and talk about, hey, auntie was talking about character. Here the character or traits are exactly color of the eyes, color of the skin, hair color, eye color, earlobe. Okay, different features that a child is having, that are called as characters or traits. That are exactly called as what? That are called as characters or traits. So this is a very, very important point. Now we are going to talk precisely about the next important factor, that is chromosomes. Okay, so where is chromosome located? What is the function of chromosomes? Everything we are going to talk about. So now chromosome is what? If somebody will be asking you what is a chromosome, then what answer you are going to talk about? Chromosome is a thread-like structure. So just check this one out. It is a thread-like structure present where? Where is chromosome located? Where is the house of chromosome? If somebody will be asking you where is chromosome located, then what answer you are going to give? Very good. Chromosomes are located in the nucleus, okay, and it carries genes. Again and again I am talking about it. Chromosomes are carrying genes. Chromosomes are carrying genes, okay. So during cell division, chromatin material condenses to form chromosomes. Very important point. When it is exactly getting converted, so chromatins, so usually in a structure you will be seeing chromatin. Usually in a structure you will be seeing chromatin. Now these chromatins are doing what? These chromatin will get condensed and it will get converted into chromosomes. The chromatins will be condensed and it will get converted into chromosomes. So different organisms have different number of chromosomes. Yes, I think in the beginning part of the class now you were asking that, auntie, the chromosome numbers are same for all the living mammals. No. Now you see here different organisms have different number of chromosomes. There are thousands of genes on a chromosome which control various characteristics of an organism. So one gene is enough or thousands of genes are there? Come on, quickly tell me, is there only one gene which is controlling? or there are thousands of gene present. There are thousands of gene present which controls a characteristic. There are thousands of gene present which is controlling a characteristic. So if somebody will be talking about that these are the characteristics of an organism, then you have to say that no, there are thousands of gene present there and they are exactly controlling the characteristics of an organism. Fine. So now in human being 23 pair of chromosomes are there, and at all we can say that 46 chromosomes are there. 23 pair of chromosomes, that is 46 chromosomes are present. How many chromosomes are present? 46 chromosomes. So that their total how many are there? 23 pair of chromosomes, that is 46 chromosomes are present. How many chromosomes are present? 46 chromosomes are present. Fine. So now we are going to go to the next part. Now one question is answer me that question. What factor is responsible for continuation of species on earth having a particular trait? What factor is responsible for continuation of species carrying a particular trait? Means carrying traits, particular trait I am not going to talk about, carrying trait. Very good, but I want a compiled answer, Kamya and Akshaya. So here you are talking about reproduction. Yes, without reproduction it is not possible. Fine, without reproduction it is not possible. Then so heredity is there. Yes, so variation in heredity. So that I want you have to just compile the things here. See, always now when you don't know how to arrange the answer, you have to remember three things. First thing is that variation is one of a very important tool for evolution or living continuation of species on earth. Second is heredity, and third is what? Third is reproduction. So you have to exactly mold the answer like that only. So if somebody will be asking you this question, what could be, so heredity while reproduction, absolutely. So reproduction, I am again and again I am telling you one very important thing, that reproduction ensures the continuity of a species on the surface of earth. Reproduction is ensuring the continuity of a species on the surface of earth, where the genetic information is passed on from one generation to another generation is exactly possible with the heredity, means with exactly the genes. The genes are responsible for carrying the DNA, and this DNA will miss what? Genetic information. The DNA heredity, what? A part of genetic information is exactly transmitted from one generation to another. So definitely these three are the most important factors where you are going to compile the point and write. Now we are going to talk about center of heredity in a cell. What is the center of heredity? Means it's not about only multicellular organism. If somebody will be talking that ki only heredity information or genetic information is important for multicellular organisms, because multicellular organisms have multiple thousands and millions of cells present in them, so that genetic information is very, very important for them, and for unicellular organism genetic information is not important, then this is exactly a myth. This is exactly not real. The most important point is, from unicellular organisms to multicellular organisms, each and every level we need genetic information. We need genetic information, and with the help of this genetic information only, the exactly generation to generation, we are passing on the characters. From generation to generation, what we are passing? We are passing on the characters. These are very, very important point to remember. Okay. So in prokaryotes, we are going to start from prokaryotes. Fine. Good evening, Renu. Good evening, beta. So we are going to start from prokaryotes. Just one time you see what they are talking about prokaryotes. So look here, in prokaryotes such as bacteria, the genetic material exists in an unenclosed but recognizable area of cell called nucleoid region. So definitely we know that what is nucleoid region there. So you know one very important point I am going to discuss here, beta, and that important point is कि when we are talking about nucleoid is what? A single wrap wrapped nucleus. Okay, so it is exactly having no boundary limits, and it is not so well defined nucleus. So definitely the DNA will not be so much defined here. Fine. So that means, but that is it not passing genetic information? In prokaryotes, the nucleoids are exactly the region. The nucleoid region is the region where the DNA is present. So that means genetic materials will be present. Did you understood this point, beta? The genetic material will be present where? In prokaryotic organisms, means unicellular organisms. Where will be the site where genetic informations will be present? Then you will be saying, auntie, you know that nucleoid is present and nucleoid is not well defined. Then is it containing genetic information? Yes, it do contain genetic information, beta. Tanishka, good evening, beta. So, sorry, beta, I got very angry today because examination is a bit far, but we should not be losing our preparation skill, beta. Okay, so here in eukaryotic organism, so nucleoid is the reason. Nucleus is not nucleoid. What answer I am just using? What word I am using? Nucleoid. It is not nucleus, it is nucleoid. It is what? It is nucleoid. So now in eukaryotic organism, the genetic material exists in membrane bound cell organelle called nucleus. So now you know why I have used the word membrane bound organelle. Membrane bound in organelle means a double coated membrane. That is, nuclear envelope will be present there. In multicellular organisms, the nucleus are well wrapped with a nuclear envelope. Fine. What word I used? What word I used? Nuclear envelope, and it will be a double coated one. Okay, it will be a double coated one. Inside chromatins will be there, nucleons will be there, and they are exactly the responsible for sending the genetic information from one generation to another generation. Now, one day Sudarshan has asked me a question that, auntie, what about virus? What about virus? So now I am going to just talk about virus also. So we talked about prokaryotes. Prokaryotes, nucleoid is the region where genes are present and it is passing genetic information. In eukaryotes, nucleus is there where genetic informations are present. And now in virus. So why virus is different from other? Why virus is different from other? Nucleoid in prokaryotes and nucleus in eukaryotes. Absolutely correct, Sudarshan. Now we are going to talk about very important point about virus. So beta, what makes virus so special? What makes virus so special? Does virus believe in reproduction? Asexual or sexual reproduction? You have to answer my question. Does virus believe in asexual or sexual reproduction? Here, by seeing this point, what I mean to say that virus do not believe in asexual or sexual mode of reproduction. See, they don't believe in having colony, making colony by with the help of asexual reproduction. It is living, but it is not. So you have to understand one very important point, Mohan, that virus now, just like understand one simple thing, that virus in air now it will be dead. It will be dead. But when it exactly, Humaira, auntie, can you please tell once again what is nucleoid? Nucleoid is exactly, beta, see, look here. You have to understand that in eukaryotes a double coated nuclear envelope will be there. This is exactly the double coated nuclear envelope. So this is exactly called as what? This is exactly called as nucleus. This is exactly nucleus. Sorry, this is exactly nucleus. This is the nuclear envelope, and this is the cell. Fine. So I'm just going to increase this so that you can see this structure. So this is exactly the nuclear envelope, and this is exactly nucleopores present in that. So from there only, here only, this is double coated. Okay, double coated membrane. Fine. But if somebody will be asking you about prokaryote, then you see here it is exactly single coated, and it is not so. There is no well differentiated boundary limits. Okay, you see here these are nucleoids. These are folded DNAs and they are nucleoids. They are not so well developed. Okay, they are not double coated. First thing, they are not so well developed. These are called as nucleoids. Now I hope you might have understood. Now you understood these are called as nucleoids. So beta, both eukaryotic and prokaryotic, they are exactly transmitting genetic character, whether it is a nucleoid, whether it is a nucleus, but they do possess genetic information, and they transmit this genetic information from one generation to another generation. So they do possess characteristics, and they are transmitting that characteristics from one generation to another generation. Understood, Amira? So now we are going to go for the next one, and that is, sorry, I'm going to go for the next one. Just 1 minute, it is going to open. So the next one what we are going to talk about is, fine. Virus. We are going to talk about virus. So look here. If somebody will be telling that ki virus is very much helping, a virus is like other living organism, then it's not the fact. Virus is not acting like other living organisms. Virus is a Vera level organism. They don't believe in marriage. Means in simple, stop laughing everyone, means they don't believe in asexual or sexual reproduction. They only believe in what you call duplicating the content without having that. So exactly, just understand this one. I'm just I'm just joking that point, don't consider that point. Okay, now look here. A virus, in virus which are not true cells. So virus cells are not true cells. First important thing, virus cells are what type of cells? Virus cells are not true cells. Their genetic material is inseated in the protein coat constituting the virus head or capsid. So when we talk about the virus structure, the genetic material is coated in the wall of the virus. Okay, that means its head or capsid is there. In that only the genetic information is seated. So they don't waste time in the what you call having genetic information somewhere, and that's why it is called as they are not true cells. They are not true cells. They don't behave like cells first. In air, what they will be doing? In air, they will be exactly dead, and when they will come in contact with what you call living organism inside a body, at that particular moment, they will exactly start sending its what you called sending its it will get connected to the get connected to the body line of the organism, and it will start growing. Growing why? Because look here, then it will only show the sign of living. It will only show the sign of living. Okay. Now virus can be, in case of virus, can be DNA or RNA. The genetic material in virus can either be DNA or RNA. You will be shocked to know that when we talk about COVID virus, now it is RNA type. It is not DNA type, it is RNA type. So if somebody will be telling you that how virus is exactly replicating, then you are going to first say that virus structure is not a true cell. They don't exhibit the sign of life. So every time. So when they will be outside in air, they will be dead. When they will come in contact with body, then only they show the sign of living. They will be forming the colonies. Okay, and they are exactly constituting the protein. They can contain the genetic information, where in case of virus it will be DNA or RNA will be the one which is exactly carrying the genetic information. So if I am going to talk about COVID virus, so that COVID virus is exactly going to, you see that structures, bacteria is there, virus is there. So you have to just understand that nucleic acid will be exactly present, protein coat is there, and this nucleic acid will be present in the sheath itself. Okay, so in the envelope region, that sheath itself, the nucleic acid will be exactly containing. I hope you might have understood this point. So virus do not believe in showing the sign of life, so that's why they are exactly not called as, they are not cells. They are not, that's why they are called as, they are not exactly true cells. What they are not, they are exactly not true cells. I hope you might have understood this point. Come on, quickly tell me till here you have understood. Then we will go to Mr. Gregor Mendel. Okay. Understood, Kamya? So regarding virus, they are rarely going to ask any question. We will go to the next PDF. Fine. We'll go to the next PDF. Yes, they copy themselves. They only believe in copying themselves and forming the structure. There are two types of virus. One is exactly RNA type, one is DNA type. So there are two different type of virus. Okay, there are two different type of virus, RNA type and DNA type. Ready? So basis of heredity. So some first important point is that Mendel proposed that the inheritance of character is controlled by paired genetic unit of factor, now called as genes. So now we are going to just first, if somebody will be asking you, I'm just reading the first line and I'm going to explain this point, because this is the most important point we are going to talk and remember. What is alleles? What is alleles? What is exactly the most important point here I am discussing right now? First is, what is the basis of heredity? Basis of heredity means what is the basic factor on which heredity will be dependent on. Okay, basic factor on which the heredity will be dependent on. So that is genes. The most important one here is genes, because genes carry characters. What genes are exactly carrying? Genes carry character, like color of the eye, our hair color, these characters who is carrying? Genes are carrying. Okay, so Mendel proposed that inheritance of character is controlled by paired genetic units or factors, now called as genes. Okay, these paired characters are exactly called as what? Genes. So this first point itself is, so they are present in all body cells and are transferred to next generation during reproduction. So now another important point is, where are these genes present? Where are these genes present? So now one question here is, are the genes only present in reproductive cells or germ cells, or these genes are present in the full body cells, somatic cells and germ cells? Both are containing genes. Which one is the true statement? Somatic cells and germ cells both are having genes. Is this a true statement, or only germ cells are having genes? Only germ cells are having genes. So which is the true statement? Come on, quickly tell me. Which statement is going to be the true statement? Which statement is going to be the true statement? Absolutely correct. The germ cells. Kamya, germ cells. Akshay is telling both. Kamya is telling germ cells. Akshay is telling both. Okay. Which one is the true answer? Somatic plus germ. Sudarshan, absolutely correct. So if this confusion is coming, now I'm just clearing out your confusion at once here, that your each and every living cells will be exactly having genes. So only one which can transfer the gene is the germ cells. So your somatic cells will also have genes. The somatic cells will also have genes, but somatic cells are not capable of transmitting these genes. Okay, but germ cells are capable of transmitting the genes, so that there will be a crossover and so that there will be a selection of characters at the time of reproduction. So there will be a selection of character at the time of reproduction. This is the only small point you have to remember. So if you are talking about my body, then my body is full of cells. Now my each cell is exactly having what? My each and every cell is having gene. Okay, means it is having nucleus, and if it is having nucleus, then 100% it will be carrying gene. But am I capable of transmitting my gene? No, I am only capable of transmitting my gene through only only the germ cells. Okay, I'm only capable of transmitting my character only through what? Only through my germ cells I can be capable of transmitting my character. Rather than that, I won't be able to whatever characters I'm having, I cannot be able to transmit. Through germ cells only a male and a female is capable of transmitting its genetic character. Okay, but each and every cell will be carrying the gene. Very good. So has to do specific function of governing their genes are present. Absolutely beta. Absolutely correct, Sudarshan. Fine. I hope you might have understood this point. So they are present in all body cells. So genes are present where? Genes are present in all body cells and are transferred to next generation during reproduction. So germ cells are capable of transmitting the genes. Somatic cells are not. Germ cells are capable of transmitting the genes. Okay. And now look here, gene work in pair and are represented in letter alphabets. So you might have seen that in DNA now, you might have seen that there are some coding decoding like A, B, A1, A2 like that written. So you have to understand one that ki gene cannot work single. They always work in pair. Gene work single or gene work pair. Then you will say that, auntie, right now only you read na ki genes are working in pair. They are never single. Genes are working in, they are always exact. Genes work in pair. They are never single. So gene works in pair and are represented in letter alphabets and are represented in letter or alphabets. So you have to remember this point. The letter T and T actually represents two forms of same gene which control the height of organism. This is the point. I hope back to back now you are understanding the point. See, look here, always you are talking about dominant trait, recessive trait. What are they? They are exactly coming in pair. They are exactly coming in pair, because right now itself you have learned that genes are always in pair. Genes are always in pair. Genes are always coming in pair. So now look here, genes works in pair and are represented in letters. So I hope you might have understood this letter part, because now you are capable of knowing that dominant and recessive traits are coming now. The dominant and recessive traits are always represented by capital letter and small letter. Are you understanding? Because I promised Akshaya, when I am going to go for Mendel P content, I am going to let you understand everything from top to bottom. So now can you tell me, Akshaya, you understood this point that gene always, exactly, gene is present. Gene is one of the unit of DNA. It is present in chromosomes. Now genes are always present in pairs. Every different type of organism, unicellular organism, multicellular organisms, they have exactly gene. What they have? They have exactly gene. And now the gene will always be present in pair and they are always represented by letters. Okay, so now here you might be seeing that the letter T and T actually represent two forms of same gene. So same gene is there. So tallness, T stands for what, beta? T stands for tallness. T stands for what, beta? T stands for tallness. So if somebody will be talking you that capital T is there, yes, beta, it is exactly, you have to understand that single gene cannot withstand, beta, because here selection of characters are there. So you have to understand one thing, beta, the gene always carry one information from father side, one information, because you have to understand one thing, Akshaya, that beta, when we are talking about germ cells, there are two different type of germ cells. One will be coming from male, one will be coming from female. Both the germ cells are haploid. Both the germ cells are haploid, and these haploid cells are containing 23 chromosomes, 23 chromosomes. Each 23 chromosomes will be having beta genetic informations. Genes will be there, but these genes will be single. Now these genes will be combining, and it is exactly when they will come in front of each other, many characters are there. But out of that many characters, beta, one character will be picked. One from father side, one from mother side. One character will be picked from father side, one character will be picked from mother side. So now gene from father side, gene from mother side, now it is coming in pair, and now beta, this pair will be active, and now this pair will be giving a final character to a child. It will give a final character to a child based on the letter which will be dominant and which will be recessive. Yes, beta, it will be diploid na. Then only na beta. If it will be diploid na, then only it will be containing pairs. It is present in pairs. So once crossover will be done, that is once crossover will be done, once the male and the female gamete are exactly going to fuse together, and they will be exactly forming a pair of what you call a pair of genes will be forming, and that pair of genes will be exactly capable of giving a character to the baby. It will give character to the baby. I hope you might have understood, Akshaya. It will be capable of giving what beta? The pair will be giving a character to the baby. One simple thing I am going to show it to you. You will understand this point. It will give character to the baby. The most important thing is just understand a gene like T is there and T is there. So this is coming from father's side and this is coming from mother's side. This is coming from father's side and this is coming from mother's side. Now capital T we always entertain. Understood, Sudarshan? Only one pair comes from one parent while sexual reproduction. Yes, beta. That's why we call it as haploid now. We call it as haploid. The somatic cells are diploid where pair will be there, and the germ cells are haploid, single, and these germ cells are exactly going crossover. Okay, and this at the time of doing crossover beta, another important point will be there, the one which will be exactly, because genes will be, one character will not be there because from ancestor line the characters are coming. Fine, from the ancestor line the characters are coming, and when they will be exactly fusing, then only they will be going for that and meeting, and then a new character will be formed. I hope you might have understood this point. Come on, quickly tell me. Understood? So from one ancestor line genes will be coming. Here it is genes from male, female, all are exactly coming, and now going crossover. Now pair of genes will be there, and this will be the characteristics of the baby. You understood this point? So this father is exactly contributed. So father height is very high, mother height is short. Father is height, mother height is short. Now here from all the traits of father height, if dominant trait T is captured and from mother this T is captured, then the baby will be tall. Then the baby will be tall. Now father is actually dominant one, father is having good height, but in father generation some of the parent might have short height. Now at the time of selection accidentally this T is picked. Then can you tell me what will be the type of the child? The child will have a height or the child will be having less height? So you have to just understand. You know what? Every time this misconception is going on, people select like a person like pairs, means the height will be there. Mother is having very good height, father is having good height. Then definitely child will be exactly having good height. Mother is beautiful, father is beautiful, child will be beautiful. So like this people have a conception here. But it is, you have to understand that yes, short height, yes, absolutely, less height will be there. So it is exactly like it is coming from the line. It is exactly coming from the line. One character, no, multiple are there, not one, multiple are there, and from there only selection is there. So maybe the father is not so handsome, not so beautiful, mother is very beautiful, she is exactly coming from one line, father is coming from one line, and the baby bond will be very what you call short is there. And then what you are thinking, Renu, huh? So the baby bond will be exactly very beautiful. Then you will be giving all the credit to the baby, to the mother. No, it's not possible, because here you have to understand one very important factor, that from the father also means selection was done like that. Selection, because in father gene also definitely multiple characters will be there. Mother gene also multiple characters will be there, and from there when crossover will be done, then the best one will be selected. Means best one, not always, means the one which is exactly that time selected was going to be taken. What happened, Renu? Fine. Now we are going to go back to the point. Now you have to understand that these pairs are called as alleles. What is the name we are giving it? The letter T and T actually represents two forms of same gene. So what is the gene here? What is the name of the gene here? Height. T and T is exactly two different forms of a gene, and that gene name is height. That gene name is height. Look here, actually represent two form of same gene which control the height of the organism. So in simple, I am going to say that hey, it is about the height. Okay, so this is exactly going to control this gene is controlling the height of the child. Fine. The gene is exactly having a pair T and T, a gene is having a pair capital T small t, and this gene is responsible, it is having a common name, and it is what is the duty of this gene? First tell me, what is the duty of this gene? What is the most important work of this gene? Controlling the beauty of the baby, controlling the beauty of the baby, or controlling the height of the baby? Come on, quickly tell me. So what is the most important work of this gene? Nothing, auntie. No work. The work of this gene is inheritance of character, hair, height. Absolutely, the inherited one is height. So the gene responsible having a pair, one T and T, is exactly responsible for controlling the height of the child, is responsible for controlling what? I always study Mendel as mental almost accurate. Me also, same, me also. So just include me also in that mental category. Now you include me also, don't keep me out. I am also a mental category only. So two forms of same gene that control the same character of an organism are called as alleles. So they are exactly called as what? They are called as alleles. So include me in the mental level also. So I am also one of the person in your group. Fine. So now beta, the two forms of same gene that control the same characteristics of an organism are called as alleles. So now what we are going to learn here is ki 1 and 1 coming from for only controlling the height, what they will be called as? They will be called as alleles. What they, yep. A high five, okay. They will be exactly called as alleles. Tomorrow in offline class we will be doing high five. They will be exactly called as what, beta? They will be exactly called as alleles. They will be called as alleles. Alleles. We will be exactly calling it as alleles. So two forms of same gene that controls the two forms of same genes that control the same characteristics of an organism are called as alleles. They will be called as alleles. Fine, we'll go for the next one. Basis of heredity. Now we are going to talk about alleles. Right now only we told that two forms controlling the same character will be calling as alleles. Now we are going to go back to the content and trying to know that exactly what alleles are. So alleles, two form of same, here two spelling is wrong. So TWO. So two forms of same gene that control the same characteristics of an organism are called alleles. Now alleles are exactly of two types. Okay, one is called as dominant and one is called as recessive. Okay, one is called as dominant and one is called as recessive. The dominant one is always dominating. It keeps on dominating. It keeps on dominating means ki it will always have a dominating power. Means it can exist independently and it can exist in pair also. Means always this dominating allele is na, this dominating allele is always be the boss. So I am the boss. So like that only. So you have to understand this one, that alleles is exactly two forms. So alleles are of two types. So now I hope back to back you have understood gene, pair. Gene is exactly present in pair. Each pair are exactly having what? Each pair will be exactly called as alleles. Now these alleles are of two types. These alleles are of how many types? These alleles are of two types. One is called as dominant, dominant. The spelling mistake is there. It is called as dominant. It's not dormant, it's dominant. Sorry for the error. It is exactly called as dominant and recessive. Dominant and recessive. So two different type of traits are there. Sorry, two different type of alleles are there of a gene. Two different type of alleles are there. One will be called as dominant, another one will be called as recessive. Okay, the recessive one is a very silent one. But when it will become violent, means it will become violent. Means it will be the one which will be picked. Okay, fine, I am just joking here. Jokes apart. That's what I corrected, Renu. It is exactly called as dominating. One is dominating and one is recessive. So how many type of alleles are there? So a form of same gene. So two form of same gene that control same character. Okay. So now we are going to see here in short what is exactly gene. So if I am going to talk about T and T, it is exactly the gene present here which is controlling the height. Okay. Now these are called as alleles. So this allele is exactly called as dominant one and this is called as recessive. One is called as dominant, one is called as recessive. So one will be exactly called as dominant one will be called as recessive one. One is called as dominant and one is called as recessive. Dominant and recessive. I hope you might have understood this point. One will be called as dominant and one will be called as recessive. So while present inside chromosomes also structure. Okay, what is your doubt? Let me clear your doubt. Auntie, can you show structure of gene in a chromosome, also structure of DNA while present inside chromosome? Okay, next time I am going to put the slide. This slide I don't think the structure is there, but next slide I am going to add this structure out. Okay, I am going to add this structure out because in this slide it is not there. We have, wait, just 1 minute, wait. It will take time, wait. Okay, I'll show you the structure beta. Precise information of that structure I am going to show, or I am going to send you in group. You see here, homologous pair of chromosomes are there. Centromer, the center point will be exactly called as centromere. I have the structures. I am going to add that structure there. Okay, I am going to add the structure there. Just in next class I am going to add the structure. Fine. Next class I am going to, because unable to grasp how it will be present. Okay, so you want the precise information how the genes will be looking in the chromosomes, how chromosomes, which part of the chromosome we will be having DNA, which part. I understood what you are asking, beta. And the DNA will be exactly having what? The DNA will be having genes, but you just understand this part, beta. The genes will be exactly always present in pair. So this is exactly a particular type of gene which is controlling the height of a child, Now this gene will be exactly present in pair. So this pair of genes will be exactly the one which will be always written in capital letter, and these will be called as alleles. So this pair of genes of a particular character, the pair of genes of a particular character is called as alleles. The alleles are of two types. One allele which is exactly written with capital letter will be called as dominant, and the allele which will be written with small letter will be called as recessive. Okay, one is dominant and one is recessive. The allele which will be written always with capital letter will be called as dominant. The allele which will be present with small letter will be called as recessive. I hope you might have understood this point. I am going to keep it till here. Next class we are going to discuss about the next point related to it. Fine. Bye everyone. Good night.